Gubbi is a collective of sustainable development practitioners from across the country. For many years, it has been an informal group of about 20 people, and over the last few years, we have hoped to formalize it into a larger network.
But I don't know when we formally established ourselves as it was. 2008 was the workshop we organized in Bangalore, where a lot of people, core of the Gubbi community was there. The model we had in mind was that it would not be kind of funded by anybody, it will all be shared costs, and there would be an element of openness to the way the event would work out. And so that was a slightly deliberately loose kind of design we had in mind for the workshop. Something struck people, recognized in each other, I think, kind of they found a resonance because they were different people in different parts of the country were doing very different things but shared the same impulse really, and that's what they discovered. It took us a while to decide whether we should remain just a group of friends. There was a lot of feeling that we should not institutionalize at all. We did establish ourselves as an association. That is all. We have almost no money in the bank. We don't look for grants.
Event this year is the first time when outside people have been invited, both as speakers as well as participants. The intention is twofold. One is to expand the conversation of Gubbi to include issues beyond the building, which may be urban issues, social issues, and so on. And the second one is to get more number of practitioners, not just practitioners, but also academics or people who may be working in related fields of development, so that the network can become stronger and have a wider reach.
And there were 2-3 things that were very clear. A, we would not take money from almost anybody. So every Gubbi meeting to date, like this one, is something you come at your own cost, you share all the costs, and then you go out. That was the ethic, and in fact, that looseness was very important for everybody because people have all been involved in different institutions, organizations. They see the issues with that, it becomes solidified, you get some kind of self-interest and all of those things coming.
So it forms a nice network of people who can support each other as well. So that kind of peer group, I think it's nice to know that some others have tried certain things and done them very well, and you are trying something similar. That I think has really been something that is, and over 10 years, I think people now are so comfortable with each other, and so that network, that strong sense of community has developed.
You may write books and you may make movies, but what you get out of personal contact with somebody who is himself or herself a library of some sort, all of us who have done different things are. I think then the word network is a very instrumental word, but when you have a community of interest, that's what you have access to. Yours, the other person's, and everybody else's knowledge, creativity. It's probably more effective than any formal research or education project, at least for a certain kind of person who's already on a particular path.
Event today was structured in specific ways that addressed issues based on scale as well as its impact. So, looking at the larger scale of, let's say, political economy and climate change to regional development, to local level practice. We want to span all the scales and also to be able to hear different voices. So many of the people presented today, for example, are not architects or do not engage in architecture directly. And this also helps us bring in diverse perspectives on challenges that is to do with place making, resource management, engagement with politics, engagement with society. So the idea is to be able to open up the different facets of the question of development in a way that can be handled tangibly.
So, for this event, there could have many ways of organizing it, but sticking to our own tradition, you might say, what we did was we decided that we would each would be say entitled to invite on their own 3-4 people because we had an auditorium constraint. And then, of course, more suggestions came in. So, a lot of people here I don't know personally, Malini doesn't know personally, because it's now the network of each person, each Gubbi, is really we are trying to bring it.
This comes out of other earlier conversations that the easiest thing that we could do to enlarge this network is to reach out to each person's own office and immediate networks, because there are in each person's office itself a couple of people who are definitely directly can be a part of on this part of sustainable architecture. We also had that initial conversation with some of the younger groups to think of what might be a good way to organize this event.
That set us on a path for the theme for this, because there were many options. It could have been just a sharing of work by different people, etc. But we felt let it be about a larger issue like sustainable urbanization or something like that. And it was decided that Bangalore would be a kind of case. That's how the yesterday's event came to be. We began yesterday morning with Sharad Lele speaking about the different meanings of the term environmentalism and the way it has moved into terms like sustainability and the different implications of these divisions. So his main call was for us to keep alive a polyvalent understanding of sustainability in both as academics as well as practitioners. That was followed by me. I spoke about the production of space, or a theory proposed by Henri Lefebvre. I basically looked at the political economy that is driving the urbanization of a particular kind in India today, which is centered on creating real estate, building infrastructure. So, literally producing new physical spaces, but also new systems of social relations. I was followed by Krishna Balachandran, who focused on the socio-economic inequities that are manifest in the way different communities are spread across Bangalore, and very interesting mapping using GIS showing the correlation between natural water courses and informal settlements, which are also the concentrations of disadvantage in many different ways. This was really the morning session, and then a good discussion after that. Following that, in the afternoon, we had 3 presentations. They were broadly, all of them had to do with, you could say, the idea of place. We began with environmental placemaking by Amrita Sen, drawing on her postdoc work at Azim Premji, where it was preliminary work, but she presented results of some interviews with people coming to lakes, what values they attach to lakes. Then there was Kiran Keswani, who presented a study of Shwati Katte's basically banyan tree platforms, which are considered sacred in Bangalore and spread across Bangalore. So looking at how religious spaces are embedded in the everyday space of the city and what that means. So that's also a study she's currently undertaking. And finally, Brinda Shastri spoke about Gandhi Bazaar using a framework that looks at place, network and politics, involving various actors, activities, which is a very useful way of bringing together social and the spatial. and understanding a particular bazaar, how it actually works in the real sense. So all three were clearly centered on the socio-cultural and economic aspect of the everyday city. And of course, at the end of the day, we had a very interesting sharing session, went on for 1.5 to 2 hours, and people were not willing to leave. And key aspect of this going ahead, it will be great, I think, if we are able to see whatever happens next being done by, again, not led by us, because this is a big problem. People who are established in whatever way, they are always leading things, which then I think reduces or doesn't allow the agency of those who are joining and who are really the future in many ways. Right?
The faith that something like a sustainable architecture is possible and an alternative exists, if that itself slowly starts getting mainstreamed, I think then we've gone ahead. So I think that's the idea. It's not necessarily about individuals as much as the propagation of this mode of doing architecture.
And actually, more than architecture, because that is really what binds everybody together. Because everybody sees and values. It's not a technical thing that you're doing, it's not the technical innovation, you might say, that binds us to each other. It is the underlying value system and the larger vision that drives that kind of technical person. So I think it's that all together is what is really pushing a lot of this. That is the motor.
Over the next 5 to 10 years, we hope that the Gubbi family, as we call it, becomes large enough to make an actual impact on the ground, whether it be in terms of policy, teaching, or practice.